Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my channel From Broken to Beautiful. I am Jasmine, and if you are new to this channel, let me let you know what we do here at From Broken to Beautiful. We identify with our brokenness, our broken pieces, and we allow the Father to put us back together again. You know, Broken to Beautiful is a process of just transformation where we come in one way and then throughout the process, God begins to beautify us. We become this masterpiece, but because we went through the process, we go from broken to beautiful. So, you know, if you are new over here, if you're checking out this video for the first time, thank you so much for watching. You know, if you feel so led, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and then like the video, comment, share it. And so let's just see what God is doing. And I pray that this video is a blessing to those who are listening and to those who, you know, really need to just hear from God. So that is what I'm here for today. So let's be open today. I'm going to share with you all, you know, a topic that's very personal to me. This month is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so I really want to come on here and for us to chat and for us to talk. I know it's been a minute since I posted a video, but I really wanted to come on here, especially with it being Mental Health Awareness Month, for us to talk about the things that have broken us. And so I want to talk about depression. Depression is something that I have gone through on several occasions, and it's a very real thing. So if you don't know, so depression is just a place where you're just sad all the time. You can't find joy or happiness, and it's a place that you just kind of stay and your mood doesn't shift. And because you're in this place of sadness, you kind of withdraw from the things that, you know, maybe you would naturally want to do, but you don't do those things because you are depressed. You know, a certain situation in your life has happened, a circumstance has happened, and it has you in this, you know, very low place, low spirited place, and you just don't want to do anything. And so a moment for me when I went through depression was, you know, I want to talk about how I felt when I was trying to have another child. So, you know, I know Mother's Day just passed, and, you know, we celebrated our mothers. And so, but I want to talk to those mothers who didn't get a chance to have a kid, or, you know, maybe you wanted to have a child and you just couldn't. And so for me, I went through a very strong bout of depression because when I was married, I really wanted to have another child with my husband. Or not another child, but I wanted to have a child with my husband. I went into the marriage with a child already, and I wasn't able to have a child. It was like the craziest thing ever, and it really played a huge part on my mental. I just remember just being so sad, y'all, being so sad, you know, especially when, you know, if you're in a church and you have friends and they pray, you know, they see things in the spirit, and, you know, you getting prophesied to that you're going to have children. I remember being prophesied to on so many occasions, maybe not so many, but just, you know, people just, you know, saying like, you are going to have, you know, multiple children. And at that time, my son was 5 years old. Now my son, he is 10. And so I'm like, oh my goodness. So during that time, I'm like, oh, this is going to be perfect, because I have brothers and sisters, but I did not grow up with my siblings at all. I did not grow up with them. I grew up as like the only child. And so, and I'm the oldest, but I grew up as the only child. So I always yearned that once I had kids, that I wanted to have multiple kids, because I didn't want my child to feel what I felt, to feel like he was missing something, or not to feel that he didn't have, you know, like siblings that could have his back, that could support him, you know what I'm saying, that could just be that everything for him. And so I really wanted more children. And so, you know, my ex and I, we, you know, really got right into going through the process of trying to have kids. And, you know, after the first year, I'm like, you know, okay, that's cool. Like, we didn't have it, you know, maybe it'll happen later on down the road. Maybe this is good that we're not, you know, having a child right now. But as time went on, and I'm like, I'm not getting a positive pregnancy test at all. So like, what is going on? And the more and more you see that negative pregnancy test, or that one line, or depending on what type of test you get, and it says negative or not pregnant, oh my gosh, what it does to your mind. As a woman, you were created to bring forth life. And when you're not able to bring forth life, it really, really, really plays a huge part on your mental, just your mental stability. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and for me, I'm like, I've given birth once before, you know, like what's going on now? Like, why can't I give birth again? This doesn't make any sense to me. Or why am I not able to conceive? And it got really, really dark, y'all. And you know, it's like whenever you going through, especially when you're trying to conceive, it's like everyone around you gets pregnant. I remember my best friend getting pregnant. You know, she was like, girl, I didn't even want to get pregnant. And I'm like, girl, what? I'll give anything to be in this position to bring forth life. And you didn't even want to bring forth life. And here I am, married at the time, married, and I can't even bring forth a child. I was so upset with God. I would be very mad at God. And y'all, it was so many times. I had a lot of friends that got pregnant. And I remember this one time, one of my friends, she came to me and she was like, Jazz, guess what? I'm like, girl, what? And she was like, I'm pregnant. And I was like, I pulled back and I was like, I'm happy for you. And she was like, you know, she was like, thank you. And I was like, you know, you're welcome. You know, like I tried to play it off, but she noticed it. And so, you know, I parted ways. But before I left, I wanted to make sure that I reached back out to her. I wanted to let her know, like, I am very happy for you that you are having this baby. But I just like opened up to her and was like, it really had me in this dark place. Because I'm wanting to have this baby and I can't have this baby. You know what I'm saying? And so I just really felt, you know, I cried to her, you know, I'm like, I'm so happy for you, but I would give anything to be you in this moment, to be you, to be bringing forth life. You're bringing forth life with your husband. I would give anything to be in that position, to bring forth a life. And so she was like, you know, girl, it's going to happen. And I remember, you know, just being invited to baby showers and just dreading going to baby showers because I didn't want to be around people. I didn't want to be around, you know, people all excited, you know. And so I just really went into that dark place, right? I never did get a chance to have that baby. But what God did for me is, you know, well, first let me back it up. You know, it was really dark. I had moments when I was angry at God, but I continued to go into that place where I prayed to God. God was my place. God was the place that I went to when I was frustrated. You know, I had my prayer closet. So I would always go in my prayer closet and I would always talk to God and I would always like let him know how frustrated I was. And he loved me, you know, through it. He loved me through it. You know what I'm saying? He really did. Let me know like it's going to happen. And I remember reading books. I think I can't even think of the name of this book, y'all, but it was a book of this woman who basically just on a supernatural pregnancy or something like that. I remember reading that book and hearing testimonies, you know, like joining all these different communities that pray for the fruit of the womb. You know, I'm praying, they speak into the womb. I would lay hands on my womb. I was doing all these things, you know, over my womb. And then eventually, you know, I realized like, okay, this isn't happening the timing that I'm wanting it to happen. So I really had to give that thing to God because it was causing me, I would have just bouts of crying. I was buying baby clothes. I was crying when I would see other babies. It was horrible. I couldn't even be there for my son because I was in this dark place with depression. But thanks be to God that I can go to God. I can cast all my anxieties and cares on him. I can find a safe place with the Father. And that's what I did. I found this safe place with God where I was able to just allow him to lead my life. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand it. Why I wasn't able to bring forth another life. I'm like, I'm seeing so many other people that are not married, having babies. Here I am, married, trying to have a baby. And like, I'm like, God, like, I feel like you, what is it? You trying to like, you blocking me, God. Like, what's going on? I'm thinking like, if you can block me, why can't you block them? You know what I'm saying? And so I just remember just having to trust in the Lord with all my heart and to lean not to my own understanding, And so I had to remember, just like, Hannah, she went through her time where she was really depressed, and how she was, she wanted to have a husband. Wanted to have a baby with her husband, but she just wasn't able to have that baby. But you always saw Hannah going to God, and she prayed and she cried out to God to the point where she looked like she was drunk. Her husband like, what's going on with you? Like, you drinking? And she's like, no, my Lord. And so, but she always made sure, she always prayed out and cried out to God, and eventually, God gave her that desire. He gave her that child, and so I just truly believe that when we give it to God, that God will do it. So in regards to, your depression, like, what can you do practically? If your depression story is, you trying to conceive, if your depression story is something else, what can you do to help you through your depression? What can you do? All right. What first I want you to do is just make sure that you take care of yourself. All right. You really want to make sure that you are putting yourself first. For me, I couldn't go to every baby shower. I had to protect myself until I was, I got myself strengthened up to where I was able to go and attend these baby showers. Secondly, make sure that you surround yourself with people that love you, that understand the sensitive nature of what you're going through, and that can love you through it. You know what I'm saying? Don't isolate yourself, because a lot of times what we do, we like to isolate ourselves. There's a time where maybe you should pull away, but make sure that you are pulling away to the point where you are just, not to the point where you're truly isolating yourself from people, where you're not wanting to do anything. That's not how God wants you to be. He doesn't want you to be that way. So surround yourself with people that can love you through what you're going through. And the more love you have, it starts to change you, and it gives you this lightness, because you see the love of God through people. You see his love. Next, or third, I want you to connect with a group. That group may be a small group, find a group that may be dealing with what you are, or that may be, they may have a focus on what you're going through. Or join Bible study, join a Bible study, or join a community group. I'm going to plug Broken to Beautiful community group on Facebook. You can find us. It's a private group. It's for women only, but it's a private group where we're just able to, talk about our brokenness and our broken pieces. And it's a safe place for us. So find a community group that you can join that can be that support group for you. Bible study, just getting connected to something, getting connected into a ministry that's really going to help you. Okay. And, I'm always going to advocate for God, because he is the ultimate person that can heal you, that can, set you free from the bondage that you in your mind, like he can set you free from that captivity. He can give you the garment of praise, and he can give you the oil of joy. He can give you all of that. But you got to get connected. You got to get plugged in to the Father. You got to get plugged into him. Lastly, please, not mental health, but counseling is not taboo. Get counseling. Get someone that can help you, that can talk with you through what you're going through. You want to make sure that, like, they're licensed, they're professional, and they're not biased, right? Because sometimes we get our counseling from people who give us biased counseling because they love you. So they're going to give you counseling based on how they feel about you. But the counselor, they can give you tools that you can literally put into your life. It gives you a fresh perspective on it. And so I did go to counseling, not for this matter, but I have gone to counseling, when it came to when I got divorced and, I was going through that process. I did go to counseling, and counseling really did help me. It really, really did help me. It helped me to identify with areas I didn't even think that was even a problem, but it helped me to identify with that. So get whole. Allow God to put you back together again. Depression is not a place that you have to stay. You don't have to stay depressed. God can turn your mourning into dancing. He can turn your sorrow into joy. But all we have to do is just trust in him, lean into him, and as day by day, as the Lord allows you to see fit, as you lean into him, he begins to give you this thing that you couldn't get from no one else. It gets deep down into your spirit. Bashan Mitchell has a song, it's called You Give Me Joy Down Deep in My Soul. Like it's an unspeakable type of joy. But if you tap into it, you'll get it. So just tap into it. Tap into God. Tap into who he is. Tap into his love for you and watch him turn it around. Even if your situation doesn't change, but because he's so good, you just have a just good perspective on life that you wouldn't have gotten had you just stayed in that place. So get connected to the Father and, follow these steps, but make sure that you're putting yourself first, because the number one person that you got to look out for is you. Then everyone else falls into place. All right. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. So go ahead and again, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have resonated with this, talk about it below. Depression is something that we don't like to talk about. We like to sweep it under the rug, but let's not sweep it under the rug anymore. Let's, pull that rug up, and let's see what's underneath it, and let's dig into it, and let's see what God wants to get up out of that, because it's for our good. Amen. All right, so I love you all. I'm going to be dropping some more videos today, so stay on the lookout, and you all be blessed. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.